Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
We're watching Fanboy.
A fanboy, etc.
Fanboy Nation.
Dot, I assume Tom.
WonderCon is back in swing. We're going to be in Anaheim this first weekend of April. It was a little scary to realize that it's April Fool's Day that it starts, but nobody's fooling anybody right now. And luckily, we get to talk to former fangirl turned fangirl creator or girl creator, whichever title you want to give this woman. Kayden Phoenix is talking to us about her new Latina, Latinx. We got a million different abbreviations for you guys at this point. A la Brava, which is going to be debuting its 5th issue at WonderCon. So how are you today, Kayden?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
You know, I thought we had a lot of nicknames, and then you guys have like, you know, Latino plural because in Latin-based languages it's masculine plural when it's mixed company. You know, Latina singular and plural when it's all females, and then Latinx, which is a very American thing that the rest of Latin America doesn't use. And then the other one is just plain Latin, but then that incorporates the French, the Italians, the Romanians, and the Portuguese, which confuses everybody else on the Western Hemisphere.
And you can add Latina. So that is the more proper one as opposed to Latinx. Latina is used by South Americans, and that's because it's inclusive. So it does include non-binary as well. Okay. So I am Latina because I am female, but I'm also Latina because that's the overall, right? I'm a part of the whole Latina community. So that's what I say. But, you know, as long as you're trying, as long as you mean well, like I'm not going to be insulted either way.
Right. You know, it just depends because some people get offended. You know, I mean, it's one thing to use the general term, like we have Middle Eastern, and then people are like, oh, you're an Arab. No, I'm not an Arab. Oh, then you're this. No, I'm not that. What about no? Like either you can just leave it general or ask specifically which one it is, you know. So I don't get offended by it anymore. But like when I was in my 20s, I'd be like, listen, this is I don't get it. Okay, leave me alone. So.
Yeah, it's privileged ignorance. It's literally just that. And so it's unfortunate. And people have to learn.
Well, it comes across from all cultures. You know, it's not just one specific identity that gets picked on all the time for it.
Right.
You know. Yeah. But listen, congratulations on going from you know, a pass holder as a fan to now getting the upgraded colors of creator.
That's all right. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's my first Comic-Con first WonderCon in person. So I'm very much looking forward to it just because, you know, it's the whole experience and it's with fresh eyes. Like everyone, you know, we survived the pandemic. So everyone literally has fresh eyes now, including myself. So I enjoy it. You know, I'm already knowing I'm going to enjoy my whole experience there.
See, they should have just Comic-Con and WonderCon running throughout the pandemic because our immune systems would have just been completely boosted throughout the whole thing.
That's right? Free dopamine, free adrenaline, free everything. Totally.
Right. So what does it mean to you to go from the fan side of the line to now the creator side of the line?
I enjoy it. I've been a fan for a very long time, and you know, as a pass holder, you know, and all the cons, even LA Comic-Con, you know, obviously San Diego as well. And so now to see it on this side, like it's different because I don't get to walk around and try to hit all like the toys and hit everything that I want to see, like my friends and everybody. It's the opposite because now they come to me, which is really nice as well, except for the toys. The toys don't come, but my friends do. And so, you know, it's amazing. And you're just standing still. And I enjoy the experience of talking to people. That's another like big bonus and big benefit of it is that I do get to talk to people. I get to meet them. You know, anyone that's from Jalisco, I have a character named Jalisco. And so anyone that's actually from Jalisco, Mexico walks up to me and they're like, what is this? And I'm fortunate because I get to tell them, here's the superhero based on your state, you know, and I tell them a little bit of the story, etc. You know, and then you know, they're like, okay. And they walk on and they're happy. And so I'm very grateful, honestly. I think it's a really fun and it's more like a learning and growing experience as well on my side.
May I ask your background if that's all right with you? Because, you know, Latin America is a huge place.
It is. I'm Chicana, so I am Mexican American. I'm 3rd generation Chicana from East LA.
Okay. So you're down the street. We could have gotten, you know, gotten breakfast together this morning.
Possibly,
you know. Yeah. Next time.
Okay.
Yeah. So all right, so you're Chicana. You have mixed nationality characters in here, and we have to specify nationalities because, again, Latin America, like the Middle East, like Europe, like Africa, is heterogeneous, not homogeneous, and that there's a lot of different identities that go along with this, even though certain people speak the same languages. To put it in a Western contextualized ideology, Belgium, France, and Switzerland all speak French, but they're all different dialects, and they all have very different customs and cultures.
Wow, nice. Yes, exactly like that. So I have 5 characters, and they're all different heritages. So yes, they're all Latina, all different heritages. They're most of them, 4 out of the 5 of them, their nationality is American. So they are American Latinas because they're born in the United States. The only one that is not is Jalisco. She's born in Mexico. She lives in Mexico. So that is that one. I say she's my Mexican. Of the other ones, of the American Latinas, I have Santa. She's my border town girl of Texas, so my Tejana, as we call her. But really, she's Chicana, but my Tejana, because they have their own, Texas has their own terms for everything. I have my East LA girl, which is Druca, my Chicana. On the other side, on the East Coast above, we have our New Yorker, so that's Bandita. She's my Dominican. And then on the bottom, we have our Puerto Rican Cuban called Loquita.
And what was the catalyst to pick these specific names for these characters and spread them across the United States? LA, Texas, New York, and Miami.
Well, that goes back to the heritage. It's like, where's majority of the Chicanos from, right? And it's literally, we're from East LA, like we're all over the West Coast, but we are mainly from Southern California. So I chose East LA because, that is our Chicano movement. That is everything that happened here, the walkouts, that was East LA. So that's a nod to that. On the other side, same thing, where are a lot of the Puerto Ricans and Cubans from? Florida, also up New York, but like, where are they originally from? Florida. Dominican, same thing. It's just really, where do you see the majority of what particular heritage within the United States? And I am generalizing, but it's true. Dominicans are in New York for the most part. The Texans, of course, are in Texas. And it's El Paso. It's literally the border town of Texas, because that is where a lot of Latina is. And so that is my Texan girl, which is Santa. And then regarding the themes, they all have very different themes. They're all origin stories, all coming of age stories as well. But the themes are dependent on the social justice cause, because each of them are very social justice themed, for the reason of like, okay, what are you going to save? You're going to go save Metropolis or Gotham? No, you're going to save a girl, right? It's very simple, but like, here's the theme that we don't get seen.
But it's world building, so it's something that you have to start somewhere, and world building goes from there.
Correct. Yes.
I think people forget that with introductory comics, is that there has to be world building. If you read Action Comics #1, Superman's origin story is told in what, 2 pages?
It's great.
Yeah, and then we build on it 80 years later, and now there's this entire mythos of what's going on in there. So hopefully this has an 80-year run.
Thank you. I hope so too. I wouldn't be here. I won't be here by then, but we'll see.
No, but you might not have to be here, but at least Phoenix, Phoenix Studios will be around, and then people take over the legacy for you.
Totally cool. I'm all for that.
Yeah, we'll see. You need the website for first and foremost, on the Instagram, latinasuperheroes.com, Instagram Latina Superheroes. Kept the name very simple, which I also appreciate, because some people overcomplicate things.
Yeah, that's true.
Was this because there was a lack of representation that you noticed, or was it something that like, hey, I can tell our stories better than somebody else trying to tell our stories?
More so the first. The second one, if people try to tell our stories, I'd be able to say that, but no one's telling our stories, especially not in Latina form. Like you see, there's been attempts, and it's fine and it's great, but we need more than, we need more is really the gist of it. But no, it's really because I wanted to see a superhero on the big screen, a Latina superhero on the big screen as a movie, because I'm also a writer, a screenwriter. And so that's why I started it. I just wrote out a screenplay, and I shot a sizzle, so a short film to pitch the screenplay. And then from there, everybody asked me for the comic. And that's the only reason I went to the comics. And I chose graphic novel as opposed to comics, just financially makes more sense business-wise, because I don't have the quantity like Marvel or DC does. But so here's a complete book. Here's a story, the origin story, as a graphic novel form. And that brought me into the studios. And so it was really nice, right? Like, because either way, it's still storytelling the way I see it. It's just, these are moving pictures and these are stills.
So basically you took a shortcut and created your own storyboards.
I did. Yeah, I did. I actually do really horrible, scary storyboards. They're all stick figures. And then my artists, make them legit and non-scary. And they come out really pretty. And so. Right.
By the way, your artist, what was it? Not that talented. I mean, only just an Eisner Award winner or anything.
Yes.
No, we're teasing. No, I mean, you put yourself around a great team of artists with you. Things are going well. I've seen a couple of the proofs and the stills that you sent me. Everything looks great.
Yeah.
Are you going to have the sizzle reel showing as well at WonderCon in your booth?
No, not at all. No, that stuff's internal. I use it for production companies and studios as of right now. The sizzle reels, because I have them for 3 of the 5 superheroes. They're live action, so it doesn't necessarily coincide with the graphic novels because they're very they're animation. They're more leaning towards more animation / manga anime, and so it doesn't. I mean, it aligns, but not as much, and it doesn't help the cause because I'm here trying to sell books and a story and the whole world, and this is something else which I'm pitching.
Yeah. What's the reaction? I know you're 3rd generation American, so you won't have a similar situation to me, whereas I'm 1st generation. I have that immigrant parent of you're doing what, and like instead. But Los Angeles has a deep-rooted Chicano art culture. Where obviously you're embedded with that walking around the streets of LA, but were your parents artists themselves? Were they very supportive of this? Like, what was the reaction to that?
Well, I got lucky because eventually they gave up on me, and so that means I can do anything I want, right? So I got my freedom because they're like, oh, you're doing this now, okay, go have fun. And so I guess that helps becoming an adult. So in that sense, they let me have my freedom, which I'll take it. But it's also like they've always been, they like every parent, they care about your well-being, they care about how you're gonna survive, blah blah blah, and so I understand that aspect as well. I mean, I did go to college, so I got that out of the way, and I wanted to go to college, but I went to college, and then did little things here and there. I did my marketing, but they don't understand the industry, like screenwriting, like sending screenwriting, comics, etc. It's just they are like get a real job kind of deal, and it's like, no, this is an investment, right? Like there's a complete difference because I'm doing a career, not doing a job, and that's the division. And I understand that, but I do need a job as well to survive. But here's my career that I'm actually extremely being focused on, and it's starting to pan out, And so I think they are buying more into it, and they're more okay with it as well as it continues, as I keep getting my news and my press, and so it's going is the answer.
Yeah, basically, your sister's the pharmacist, and they're like, "Well, we got one."
Yeah, it's okay. One counts. We did good. We're fine.
We're 1 for 2. We're all right. We're all right.
We have a good average. Yeah.
If we had this average in baseball, we'd be killing it. We'll be in the Hall of Fame in 2 years. Yeah. Yeah. How did you find your artist and team up with her? And then, the developments of the stories themselves, like, did you go to the East Coast and spend time there? Do you have friends from the East Coast? Or was it?
The first one, I'll do the first one first. I found them all on Instagram. Actually, I got really lucky. For the most part, it was Instagram. So there's hashtags, women who draw, women who illustrate. And I had to Google that. I did not know. And so I looked it up. I was like, great. And so I went through Instagram using those hashtags, and I screen grabbed all the ones that I liked, right? And I started marking, okay, who has good art, et cetera, who can do color, who can do pencil, who can do ink, et cetera. And so I started my research in that world. And then I found one that I really liked. She happened to be Latina, and she happened to live here in LA. So I asked her if she wanted lunch. I took her out to lunch, and I was, explained my whole world, my concept of here's my 5 Latina superheroes plus the team, etc. Do you want to be penciler? And she's like, no. And and in my mind, I was just like, you could have told me no on email. But I was just like, okay. So I was like, okay, thank you. And she's just like, but I will be your colorist, and I will give you a tweet because all my artists are Latina artists. All my followers are Latina artists. And so I'll do a tweet for you. And I was like, great. So she literally wrote, Latina writer looking for Latina artist for Latina superhero, drop your ports. And I got like 80 replies. And so I went through all those 80 replies, and I got all the rest of my artists from there.
That's incredible. So you just So your colorist is the one that found you your pencilist.
Yeah, my penciler. Yeah, she got referred to the tweet, and so she wrote me, etc. And then sending, I talked to them all afterwards, explain, the same beats over and over. But that's how I got my first book done, and that was all of our first book except for the inker. We had 6 people. We had 3 colorists because she brought her friends in as well, and so we had 6 people as artists. Sending 5 of the 6, including myself, were first-time graphic novels. That was our first comic ever.
And issue 5 or the fifth edition is coming out in time for WonderCon.
Pandita will be, actually, yes. I have it. I just finished a Kickstarter, and then right now it's being printed overseas. So yes, by July I will definitely have it. And yeah, she's my 5th one, my Dominican gunslinger from New York.
Wow, congratulations. So that's perfect, just in time for Comic-Con in San Diego.
Yes.
Yeah. What's more exciting? Is it the first one coming out? You know, because there's that level of excitement of, oh my God, this is my first one, and it's
Yeah.
printed and it's ready to go and people bought it. And then now you're at the fifth one and you're completing the origin story of the first 5 original characters. Is the fifth one a little bit more exciting than the first one because you were able to complete the story versus getting it launched? Or like, is it 2 different excitements?
Yeah, it's definitely different excitements because it's just they're all stepping stones, right? Because after Bandita, I have the team one. So I have the A la Brava team book coming out. And then I have the omnibus coming out for the holidays, which is a hardcover. And I don't have any hardcover books yet, right? Like everything's just new to me no matter what I do, which, you know, my favorite thing is seeing people's response, honestly. It's not necessarily about me. It's seeing how they respond to it and seeing who their favorite character is now and why. You know, and so I enjoy that same because I come from marketing and business. So it's just like every teenager likes Loquita the best. Like doesn't matter their gender, doesn't matter where they're from, etc. They all choose Loquita when I break down the books to them. So now I want to say, okay, what about now we add a cowgirl? We add a Dominican, we add a New Yorker, right? Like how does that compare now and move the 5? So I like seeing stats, honestly. I'm much more into data for my own personal experience.
Yeah. Is there like, seats going to be added like the Justice League? You know, they start off with the core 7 and then there's like 80 of them later.
Yes, volume 2, they'll all have a volume 2 as well. So they'll have their sequel, but there also will be new ones because I didn't get any Latin American Latina, at all. Like, where's my Argentinian? Where's my Brazilian? Right? I missed them. And so, even because I only had 5 spots, but I missed them. I totally missed all of them. I missed my Chilean. I missed a lot of people. And same, I'm not going to cover every country in South America, but I will try to get some here and there. So yes, there will be more.
And then you're going to have the one from Belize that doesn't speak Spanish at all, because that's, I think, the only Latin American country that English is the official language.
Really? That's great. I didn't know
Belize.
that.
I know there's one in South America, and I'm pretty sure it's Belize. And if somebody from Belize says no, that's not the case, please let me know. But I think there's one that like English is the official language.
That's cool. I mean, I know obviously Brazil is Portuguese, and that's fine too. I don't know. I'm not here to take people away. I mean, if you're in the Western Hemisphere, you're Latina. You're a native, obviously, but you are Latina minus Canada. But like otherwise, we all got conquered, unfortunately. So.
I think all of us know how that goes.
Yeah, we know that's right.
Yeah, whether here or there, let's be honest. Yeah. I joke around. I said the way the English conquered the world was that they spelled everything funny, and then when you wanted to complain to them, they told you to go write a letter.
That works. I mean, for us, it's the Spaniards, but yeah, I get your point.
Yeah. Yeah, well, at least the Spaniards made it make sense when they're writing. Like the English, it's like, let's just screw everything up, and we'll have different words that are spelled the same too. And like, yeah. write us a letter of grievances, and by the time you figured out the language, everything was already gone.
That's so horrible. Yeah.
But the Spaniards weren't very nice, so I think they were actually meaner than the English.
Well, Columbus is really horrible. Yeah. His actual story, his background. But yeah, we're not here for that.
We're not going to go into the history of it, but whose colonizers were meaner.
Yeah.
No, but we got to crack a little bit of joke. I mean, it's raining outside, the wind's blowing like crazy, so I'm pretending to be at the beach, and we're getting ready for WonderCon. Yeah. Disneyland's right across the street. I'm pretty sure some people are going to jump there if they get a chance, or at least go to downtown Disney. You're on 3 panels as well. I want to make sure I get the panels right, so bear with me one second. The panels are, and I just lost it, of course. Oh, I'm sorry. Diversity in comics, film, and gaming, or gamers. Queer creators of comics assemble, and the Enter the Latina Superhero panels. Are they all on Friday or Saturday? Or are they spread across all 3 days? Like, what's the time frame for them?
The first one is on Friday, and then the other 2 are on Saturday at 1 and 4 o'clock. The first one, I forgot the time.
All right. Well, it's going to be in the guide, so people are going to be able to find the time. But diversity in comics, films, and games, queer creators and comics, or comics assemble, and Enter the Latina Superhero. So congratulations on being on 3 different panels. And this is your first time as a creator at WonderCon, and here you are on 3 different panels. What does that mean to you in that recognition so early on in your career? Like, how do you top this?
How do I top it? It's not, I mean, nothing against WonderCon, but I top it in San Diego, right? Which is fine because I had 3 panels in San Diego last year as well. So, I mean, this is the next one. But maybe how do you top this is just you keep going, right? I mean, my goal is still to get a feature. It might be a TV show first, it might be animation, it might be live action, but that is the next stepping stone. You know, you just keep going.
Maybe Jorge Gutierrez will find you at WonderCon this year.
I actually spoke to him. He backed my Kickstarter for Bandita randomly. So I wrote him on Facebook. So we are Facebook friends, and he wrote back. And I don't know him. He's my new favorite, another new favorite person.
I've met him a couple of times. He is the nicest guy on the face of the planet.
Oh, good.
Like,
good
yeah, he is incredibly kind. And like, a Book of Life was incredible, and I don't think Book of Life gets the credit that it deserves.
Yeah,
and people get mad at me because I like it better than Coco. And I was like, listen, look at the animation style, you know, one versus the other. Book of Life, I thought was incredible, and the soundtrack was amazing.
It is really good. I like the same thing. He has his own style, which I very much appreciate, as opposed to just like the basic Disney style. Nothing against Disney because my girls look like Disney, but you know, it's just like it's very it's his own, and he owns his own style, and I do very much appreciate that. And it's a different point of view than just let's blame the mom. Do you think of Coco? It's the mom's fault. If you think of Encanto as well, it's the mom's fault. You know, and it's just like, why are you always blaming the mom? You know, and it's generational trauma. That's what they're telling us. So as a Latino, you have generational trauma. Where is our actual stories? Why don't we get fun friend stories, you know? But we'll get there. That's just me as a screenwriter is what I see how we get portrayed on screen.
Well, you know, it could be like the other Disney princesses where it's the stepmom that causes all the problems.
At least they got closer. They got more immediate power.
Right. At least your moms are still alive. All the European moms are dead and gone and being mistreated.
There you go. Okay.
You know, I think ours, Jasmine, is the only one that didn't have a stepmother. So, you know.
Yeah, I don't think she had a mom though at all, did she?
No, her mom died,
and
that
her
was
mom
the end
is
of it.
dead. That didn't help the matter.
Right. Yeah, her mom's dead, no stepmom, neglected child because her dad's the Sultan. So, you know.
That's true.
We got one that was just completely neglected, not even abused. So no, we have to tease a little bit, you know, but no, but congratulations. I love the fact that the stories are flowing the way they are. You know, the characters are diverse enough, whether in ethnicity or in region or in upbringing, because everyone has a different upbringing. I mean, you have 3 Mexican-American characters, 1 Mexican from Mexico, actually. And the culture in Texas is different than the culture in California, you know. And so people like to make things homogeneous and going, oh, well, they're just Mexican, so everything's the same. And I'm like, Mexico's a big country. Like, have you been? Because like California and Alabama aren't the same. Arizona and Illinois aren't the same. New York and, you know, Washington aren't the same. Like, you know, these are big countries. They're not tiny little places.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. But yeah, no, my 2 Mexican Americans, my Chicanas, and then Mexican is obviously it's the Jalisco one. I do think that they are very different. Like you said, it is a regional difference, but it's cultural as well. Like obviously we eat close to the same food, but we are very, very different in all aspects. So yes.
Yeah. For the people that are going to pick up the books for the first time, you know, the first 4 volumes at WonderCon at your booth. Do you have your booth number, by the way?
I do. It's B63 in the Artist Alley. So so to your left, Artist Alley is on your left-hand side when you enter, and then I'm all the way at the end.
You know, what can they expect? And obviously you want everybody to pick up all 4 volumes, but if someone sits there and goes, you know what, I'm from New York, should I pick up the New York one, or should I start with volume 1 or whatever? Where do you think people should begin in their journey of learning of your characters, since right now they're standalone characters as the universes are converging?
Well, there's 5. So there's 5 books, not 4 volumes, but there's 5 books right now. It's up to them, honestly. I go through and I break them down very easily. A lot of people get it based on their own ethnicity, their heritage, or like you said, on the regional demographic as well. So it literally is up to them. If it's younger, I always recommend Loquita because she is my young one, and that is the least dark in regards to social justice matters. But there are a lot of returning customers, my very loyal customers, and those I appreciate. So they always get the new one, right? So Druga, Bandita, those are my 2 newest ones. Druga I still have, I got last month, and then Bandita's coming in for San Diego. And so honestly, I recommend whatever they want. Like if they're a dancer, I don't necessarily need to recommend it. Just for the kids, I do say Loquita. because everyone else in the other ones, they all die. Lots of people die. Social justice themes. I started dark and I end dark. I start with femicide and I end with domestic violence. So it's very dark in that sense. So it's just, based on the reader's preference.
So it is a Disney movie.
Absolutely, just to keep up with them.
Yeah, we're not going to let the mouse get away with everything and killing all the moms. We're going to do it ourselves. No, I'm teasing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kayden, where can we find you on social media? Is it just the Latina superhero ones, or is there a personal one as well? For your writing as a screenwriter and as a human being.
My Instagram is Kayden Phoenix, all one word.
And spelled PH, not with an F.
It's spelled the correct way, like a phoenix. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Kayden Phoenix, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on crossing the line and being over at WonderCon. I will be there this weekend, so we're gonna at least hang out face to face for a couple of minutes. So that's gonna be great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. I will see you this weekend at WonderCon, April 1st through the 3rd.
Yay.
Kayden Phoenix, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks.